KCP mentioned how after the All-Star break, Nikola and everybody at the group text said, let's go, let's get ready for that. How valuable is that when your star player does something like that?
Yeah, it's what you need. I mean, you have a guy that is a great player, but also is willing to take on a leadership responsibility and remind guys with 27 games to go coming out of the break that we have to start playing a lot better with a lot more urgency and a lot more consistency. So anytime your players start holding each other accountable, that's when you know you have a chance to be a really good team.
How'd you evaluate, I know you guys are 3-0 over the course of this stretch, how would you evaluate the team's mental makeup just kind of heading into this final stretch?
Yes, this thing has been great. I mean, not just the wins, but how we're winning. We're playing at a high level, averaging 36 a game on assists, 6 to 8 in the paint, 20-something in transition, so the ball is flying, we're making shots, and we're getting stops. So that's our identity. Go out, defend, rebound, get out and run, and take care of the basketball. And I think we've done that in 3 games. But we've lost to Sacramento 3 times, and tomorrow night we have to have the same mentality.
You guys have won the fast break battle in every single game out of the All-Star break. What have you seen on that side of offense, I guess?
Well, getting stops, rebounding, and running. I mean, you can't be a running team if you're not getting stops, and obviously defensive rebounding has been good, not great. That can be a lot better, and that can lead to even more transition points. But to be 20-plus in transition right now in 3 games speaks to guys making a concerted effort to get out and run. And you don't want to get caught playing against a set defense for 48 minutes. Those easy baskets can be so important for you guys. And we were a very good running team last year. Most of this year we have not been. But these 3 games out of the break have been real positive in that regard, and hopefully that's something we can sustain moving forward in the final 24.
Coach, you have a tough back-to-back, but on Thursday you play the Heat coming in. Do you think that'll bring back memories of the finals? And if so, what are those memories about? What might you think about that?
I'm worried about Sacramento, to be quite honest. Again, they've beaten us 3 times. In fact, they've kicked our ass 3 times. We were up 16 last game at home, and we let them come back, and De'Aaron Fox took over. But if you look at the 3 head-to-head matchups, they're scoring 120. They're almost 60 in the paint. They're making over 14 threes a night. So we're literally giving them everything. So I'm not even worried about Miami right now. We'll have our hands full with the Kings tomorrow night.
Michael, the assists, I know Nikola's numbers have had a lot to do with that, but you guys were, I think it was under 30 assists in 12 of the last 14 going into the break. Is there anything just within the flow of the offense that sort of has clicked for you in particular in these 3 games?
Yeah, making shots.
Yeah.
Just look at our field goal percentage in those 2 stretches, and I think that tells the story.
Coach, it's high school tournament time. What is your most cherished and most painful high school basketball memory as a player?
Well, obviously, the most painful is my last game. We lost to Bergen Catholic in the Northern State Finals, and I remember the game like it was yesterday. And I cried like a baby after that game because it hurt so much. And a kid named Mike Padone kicked our ass, and I'm still pissed about that. And then probably my favorite memory was hitting a game winner over Columbia, our conference rivals, at the buzzer, which allowed us to be the conference champions that year. So I remember that like it was yesterday too. But much more the loss. The losses stay with you. You'll take those to the grave.
It's amazing how everybody in this gym can remember their high school days. It doesn't matter who you are.
Oh, and I think, like I tell my daughter, who's a junior in high school, like, these will be some of your best and most painful memories of your entire life. And that's just a part of being a high school student athlete. And for me, the finality of it. That was my last game in high school, and you're going to go on to play in college, but there's nothing like high school, to your point.
Coach, with regard to Sacramento, just their mix of guys that can attack off of the DHOs that Sabonis sort of puts out there, just how do you keep up with the just kind of, it's almost like it's very similar to how you guys run your system, but just how do you keep up with the constant movement and flow on that team?
Yeah, challenge. They lead the league, I think, in passes per game. They lead the league in dribble handoffs per game, and they're very effective in those dribble handoffs. When you got a guy like Kevin Huerter who can come off and knock down the 3, you have a guy like Malik Monk who can knock down the 3, turn the corner. De'Aaron Fox, who is just still proving to be such a clutch player and hard to stop in that fourth quarter. They have so many weapons offensively, and you have to take something away, and that's my biggest issue in our first 3 games, Ryan, is that we've given up transition, we've given up the paint, and we've given up the three-point line. You're not going to beat a team when you give up scoring at every level possible, so we have to do a much better job of being aware of their three-point shooting, not turning it over and fueling their break, which has a lot to do with them beating us 3 times this year. And it requires this tremendous multiple effort because the ball moves the entirety of the shot clock and the entirety of the 48 minutes.